Hey y'all, Irix Guy here. Now if you're not already aware, GoPro has released the latest GoPro camera, and it's the Hero 4. So the GoPro Hero 4, like previous model GoPros, it comes in several different levels, and obviously the price follows that. The top of the line is the GoPro Hero 4 Black, followed by the GoPro Hero 4 Silver, and then you also, and they don't really publicize it as much, and actually technically I don't think it's labeled a Hero 4, it's just called the Hero, which is now their entry-level camera. But what I'm going to talk about in this video is side-by-side comparison Hero 4 Black and Hero 4 Silver. Now if you haven't watched my videos, you may not be familiar. I've got hundreds of GoPro videos. I've owned all the Heroes. I never owned the Hero 1, but I own the Hero 2, the Hero 3, Hero 3 Plus, which is on my head right now, the Hero 3 Plus Black Edition. And I do have the Hero 4 Plus Black Edition incoming. So stay tuned for the unboxing video, the review video, a plethora of videos where I take the Hero 4 Black Edition out in the field and thoroughly test it. So what if you maybe you don't have a GoPro yet, maybe you're on the fence and you're looking at this $100 difference between Hero 4 Black and Hero 4 Silver. Well, I'm just going to break it down. I'm on GoPro's website right now looking at the specs. Obviously I do not have the camera yet, but I will have it soon. So with the Hero 4 Black, the top of the line, you're going to get 4K at 30 frames per second. If you're not familiar with 4K, that's ultra high definition. Now at the time of posting this, unfortunately there's a small amount of people that actually have the 4K televisions or computer monitors. So if you decide to film in that resolution, your audience, at least at this point in time, is probably not going to be privy to the displays to be able to view that 4K video in its full glory. Not that that's a problem, because it's good to be future-proofed, and 30 frames per second is very substantial. So 4K 30 on the Hero 4 Black, but on the Hero 4 Silver you don't get 4K. On the Hero 4 Black you get 1920 by 1080, also known as 1080p, at 120 frames per second. Now on the Hero 4 Silver you get 1920 by 1080, also known as 1080p, at 60 frames per second. So you're getting half the frames per second at 1080p on the Silver as you do on the Black. And on the Silver you're not getting 4K. You're just getting 1080p. Not that that's a problem, because 1080p, here's the thing about that. If you're, maybe you're not a current GoPro Hero 3 Plus Black Edition owner like I am, which I have on my head. So basically with the Hero 4 Silver, whereas the predecessor, the Hero 3 Plus Black Edition, it would do 1080p at 60 frames per second. Now you're getting 1080p at 60 frames per second in the second price point of the latest model GoPro Hero 4. But if you do decide to jump to the Hero 4 Black, the top of the line Hero 4, you're going to get 120 frames per second. Now let me briefly explain the importance of frames per second. Now if you're just a casual GoPro user, you go out and you shoot a video, you download your computer, you share it with friends, the frames per second is not going to be that big of an issue. But if you're like Irix Guy's Adventure channel, youtube.com/Irix Guy, that frames per second is a factor that's of great value. And it's actually of such tremendous value that I'm immediately purchasing the Hero 4 Black, upgrading from the Hero 3 Plus Black Edition, which is an awesome camera. But the extra frames per second, that double frames per second, the 120 of what I have now, that's super important, because if you're retiming video, so you're in Final Cut Pro, iMovie, whatever you use, you speed the video up, you slow the video down. When you're doing that, the higher frames per second of the video results in more crisp video. So if you take something that was recorded with a camera with a low frame rate, just a low frame rate, let's say 15 frames per second, and you speed it up or slow it down, it's going to look really choppy. But when you're filming at that higher frame rate, 120 frames per second, which is awesome, by the way, for high definition, if you're filming at that higher frame rate, when you speed up or slow down that video, it's just going to look silky smooth. So for your average Joe, would you need to go with the Hero 4 Black? Probably not. Who would go with the Hero 4 Black? Well, someone that wants to future-proof their investment. It does do 4K at 30 frames per second. Maybe you don't upgrade to all the new GoPros. This is one you can get, and it'll likely be more than sufficient for many years, I would think. Most people would not even need to go with the silver, the Hero 4 Silver, because now they have, well, you could go with the previous model. You could go with a Hero 3 or Hero 3 Plus, or just what they call now the Hero, which comes in at a little bit over $100, and it does 1080p at 30 frames per second. But this was a comparison of GoPro Hero 4 Black and GoPro Hero 4 Silver. So check out my other videos. I'm going to unbox the Hero 4 Black. I'm going to review the Hero 4 Black. And I'm going to film quite a bit of content with the Hero 4 Black. So subscribe if you haven't already, youtube.com/IrixGuy, and share this video and any of my videos with others. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good day.